Happy birthday. No, I won't do that to you, Libra. Hey, how are we doing? Welcome to my channel, Alchemist 8. Justin here, and I hope you're having an amazing birthday season. I know we're at the tail end of it, so let's go out strong. For those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are new, I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an exciting journey. So what I'm going to be doing is a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into this thing. Your space has been cleansed. The gems are here to celebrate this birthday week. We're going in, Libra. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to represent some possible future outcomes you may be considering. The bottom left is going to be whatever perspectives you should consider or might want to consider in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And just in case you're curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are really cool, so I'll make sure to show you those throughout the reading. Thank you, higher self. But with that being said, what do we have in store for Libra this week? Let's get these cards pulled, and then we'll jump into it. Okay. All right, Libra. Oh, that's a little aggressive. Okay, let's get these cards, or well, you just sit back and relax. I'm gonna get these cards organized, and then we're gonna jump right into it. I promise. Let's see what's going on. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing so much singing. It's just because it's your birthday season. That's why. All right. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Let's do it, Libra. Okay. So, for the you'll see. For the nature of your problem, have the Empress here. And then the cards that came along with it are the Prince of Disc and the Fool. So, Libra, I feel like I've been saying this all week for a good number of signs. Self-care. Self-care is the name of the game for you this week. The Empress she is Venus. She represents everything beautiful, about love, aesthetics, but in a more, she's a counterpart, the feminine part, or counterpart to the Emperor, but she still brings that same kind of energy that the Emperor brings. This is my whole thing that I've been pitching with self-care is, this is not a time that you're being lazy. This is much needed. Self-care is one of those things. How can you operate at your best when you're not taking care of you? When you're neglecting you like the most. It's taking all that energy that you would that you pour into your projects or into people that you interact with, and really taking some of that and channeling that back for yourself. And I think I was telling Taurus this. It might sound selfish, or it may seem lazy. I was like, Justin's always like, I got to take care of myself, and none of you all matter. No, it's you taking care of yourself because everyone else matters. Because once you are good, you're feeling beautiful, your swan's rested, your shield is up, you got your flowers picked, everything. Look how balanced she is. And you're all about balance, Libra. She's even got her moons are, oh, yeah. But she's, this is that time. Take care of yourself. And I mean it, let's really, with, ooh, what am I trying to say here, Libra? I think that's all I'm trying to say, Libra. Take care of yourself. That's what I want from you. Do that, and I'll be as happy as a panda. But know that it's going to. I feel like with some of you, the reason that you might not be getting into this Empress energy, channeling that, is because we're with this Prince of Disc. He's normally he doesn't come across he doesn't give me any negative aspects per se, but if I had to pick something, sometimes he can be a little stubborn, maybe a little dull, but I'm picking up more of his stubborn energy here because I feel like some of you might have be reluctant to take this time. Maybe you feel like you have like a billion things to do. There's no time to stop. Well, I mean, hey, I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's totally fine. However, know that, if you keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going, eventually something, if not you, the universe is going to force you to stop. And it might be, it could show itself in the form of a tower moment, in the form of a hanged man. And we don't want, those moments are necessary, but if we can avoid as much, if we can, I call those cards, like, instead of like negative cards, they've been my cards of mindfulness. But if we can take more times to just be mindful already, just to kind of beat these situations to the punch, we'll have less of those. And who doesn't want to have less, as welcome as they are? I wouldn't mind, some less devil moments, less tower moments, less any of this. We even got some questionable energy going on. Oh, this whole row, questionable. But no, I feel like for some of you, I feel like there's been maybe that reluctance. You're so set in your ways about doing stuff that you don't want to, that you're not taking this time. Well, if that's the case, then I invite you. That is your journey this week, is to start that journey of self-care, of learning how to love yourself like you would love someone else. Really channeling that energy back into yourself. Because look at this person. They're super excited about this journey. Because who wouldn't be excited? The Empress is the third stop on his list. Not that I'd want to skip anything, but I want to get to where I'm taking care of myself. I want to get some self-care going on. And I feel like this is too. I definitely feel like this is the Fool challenging you, and not in an aggressive way, in a fun way. Just like, hey, let's go out and do something else. Let's take a bubble bath. Let's get if baths are your thing. Let's go get your hair cut. When's the last time you got when you're feeling nice, maybe go, if your wardrobe, if you're like me, who sometimes will wear stuff out, even from, I still got some old stuff lingering from high school, but it's like, they still fit, but maybe it's time, just because it still fits, doesn't mean that it's not time to maybe treat yourself a little bit, whatever that looks like, Libra. And I also say, while you're on this journey with the Prince of Disc being here as well, be patient with it, and stick to it. He's also an energy of, perseverance and that patience and whatnot. He's a very, very responsible figure. And I feel like, this is you, channel that energy that you would put for work and, put that towards yourself. You require work too. But I feel like working on yourself is way more fun than working on some outside stuff. Or look at it this way. When you work on yourself and you're feeling good, it makes it so that you can go on those things that do come across as tedious and whatnot. You can approach them with some fun, and you'll have that sort of that fresh mentality of just because you'll be rested. It's something just really as simple. Maybe take a nap. Have you taken a nap? When was the last time you took a nap? I can't remember last time. You know what? I've been doing random challenges with people this week. If you're exhausted, running on thin, let's go ahead and take a nap, Libra. And you know what? If people are judging you, I won't tell if you won't. So yeah, I feel like with them, I won't hang on to that too long, but that's really what I'm feeling like your challenge is going to be this week, Libra, is loving you and getting back and being patient with that process, because it is something. If it's not something you're familiar with, it could feel kind of awkward, because it's like, well, what do I like to do? But it doesn't have to be that complicated. It's just whatever brings you joy, in a sense that you can rest as well, whatever, just any kind of recreation. Maybe go, we're almost in winter here, so it's like, at least in, I'm hoping, down the line, I'll be where everyone's watching me around the world. But at least in America, we're getting on that winter time here. So maybe while it's still kind of nice out, we're in that fall season, go get outside, go sit on a bench or something. Hell, I'm going to do the same thing with you, Libra. We're going to get out. But yeah, self-care, and more self-care. That's my message here. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's start on this upper left here while I was talking about cards of mindfulness, because there's all kinds of moments to be mindful here. Let's see what this is about. So, for some of you on this upper left-hand corner here, we have the 5 of disc, the 5 of swords, and the 5 of wands. Oof, trifecta here. The 5 of disc. This is a card of more specifically, the disc have to do, before I really jump into it, disc have to, they can pertain to business matters, money matters, anything in that realm. So this card, I usually kind of lump it in with more like monetary anxiety. We're either thinking about got bills due. Usually that's what I kind of tie it, because that's why would we stress about money when it's bill time? That's the only time. Otherwise, I don't see people like, oh my gosh, I have so much money, I don't know what to do. That's not really stressing. No, well, I mean, it could be, but I'm more so feeling like there's just been this loss, or this worry, this feeling of maybe that's, for some of you, maybe that's why we're not doing the self-care, because you are worried if you do stop, then it's gonna, you can't afford to stop. And I'll tell you what, yes you can, because when time comes, okay, so let's say you don't do the self-care, you're powering through. When the universe intervenes, talking about, okay, you didn't want to rest, well, then I'm gonna have to, you're getting ready to run out of steam. The universe will stop you, and then that's just going to add more stress than if you had dealt with this, really had taken that time. Because the thing honestly with any of these cards, this is really, well, let's start with this one. This is any sort of worries like this with, because this card could also be of anxiety, just all those things that have to deal with that, just things that are hovering over our head, future stuff. That's all that is. That's any sort of, those feelings have to do with the future, and that has nothing to do with your right now. If your bills aren't due till the end of the month, that's for the end of the month you to worry about. Right now, the current you wants some rest. And you know what? I challenge you as well. It's really one of those things that it might sound crazy, but it's we have control of our future, because it hasn't happened yet. The nice thing about, and I've been mentioning this with all signs, just because I pull 2 groups up here, those aren't the only 2 options that you have. If there's something, if this doesn't resonate with you, leave that shit. Let's try to make it work for you. What applies, play around with it. Make it. It's one of those things. Not make it, but feel what applies to you. This is, the future is not just road A and road B. We got C through Z that we can consider, because we're all different, and we all approach things differently. So that whole long thing is just to say you can take power of this. This 5 of disc, I get that monetary worry. This 5 of swords, very similar thing, very defeatist kind of mentality. We're worried about poverty. These are all, each of these swords have a different hilt on them. So this could represent whatever kind of problems got you down, bills, anxiety, fears of poverty, fears of maybe, if I'm not making this money or whatever, then, fear of losing the one I love, or all these things, whatever that is, these mentalities that are bringing you down. This is stuff that it's okay, well, if you're worried about those things, well, why are you worried about those things? Is it really the fact that we're losing money, or is there a deeper root to that? Because if that's where, if I'm, let's say, for example, whatever sword, let's say if oh, well, my lover's going to leave me if I don't make enough money. Well, then, you know what? That's not a sword that I want, because my lover should be there to support me. Not my lover, my partner, whatever that looks like for you, should be there to support you regardless, But yeah, with this Five of Swords here, yeah, it's just I'm getting really, really defeated. This Five of Swords is summing up this whole feel. We are just, some of you are feeling just, man, down. And that the Empress is there. The Empress is there to fix all that up. Promise. Because she hears you. This is the energy that is inside of all of us, and I feel like it's one of those things. She doesn't get the credit that we deserve, or that she deserves. Everybody wants to, I feel like, channel that Emperor energy, just want to be like the dominating and going, and the Emperor absolutely has his place. But so does the Empress. The Empress wants to be heard too. She just wants you to rest. She wants you to look your best, to feel your best, so that you can go out, so that you're not in this mentality. So we're not feeling this Five of Wands, because it's Five of Wands. This is about, I'm feeling with this Five of Swords. This is just like you don't know where this energy is going. It's like a frustrating, like the whole situation. This trifecta of fives here. It's just like, what the hell, it's so much, and I feel like this is really like all these popping up here. I'm feeling like it's just like, hey, Libra, it's your birthday season. What are we stressed for? This is a time where really, if out of all the times of the year, this time in particular, we're in the last week of it, Libra. I want you to be as happy and as healthy and as beautiful as you know you should be. And I want you to want that for yourself too. And that's what the universe wants you to want for yourself. We all want you to have these things. Now it's just up to you. You want this, and I promise once you start this, I can say, I promise once you want something and you really are putting your heart in it, and once you get back to, because this to me, these here, although no, they're not even balanced, because there's three of them. This is not a balanced Libra. And I'll tell you what, a balanced sign in general is not good, but an unbalanced sign is not good. A balanced sign is great. But an unbalanced Libra, everyone get out. just, hey. And this is no judgment, Libras. Absolutely, this is a judgment-free zone. But, I know how I get when I'm feeling unbalanced, so I can't imagine as the scales what that must feel like. So let's get back in balance this week, Libra. This is one of those things, you know what? She's there for you. I'm gonna leave her right there so you can think about that some. Yeah, just hang out there, girl. I love the Empress. She is so bossy. I love it. Okay. Let's move on to this upper right hand side here. So, for some others, I pulled the Moon, the Six of Wands, and the Six of Disc. Now, I like this. So you remember how I was talking about how we're molding our future, how we're getting that stuff out of here? This is perfect. So let's start with this Moon card here. The Moon card is a card of illusions, deceptions, illusions and deceptions, and not just in like a mirage type of sense, or you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like this is more so the illusions that we tell ourselves, the deceptions that we're telling ourselves that oh my gosh, if I take care of myself, I'm gonna lose all my money. What is everyone gonna think of me? I'm a loser, and this is so frustrating. No, these are all Moon moments. This is the Moon. The Moon is trying to invite you to look at them not as negative cards, as moments of mindfulness. Where can we bring mindfulness into our lives? What is it? Let's say, we're worried about bills and such. Okay, how can we be a little more responsible this week? If that's the case, maybe how can we how can we better balance that? Are you, and another question, are you suffering in silence? Because maybe it's just as simple as reaching out to someone. This is not, don't go through this by yourself, Libra. I get that I was speaking with someone, and they were, we're talking about, had said something, and I got it. It's like we come into the world by ourselves and we leave by ourselves. But if that were the case, then there wouldn't be so many people on the planet. It would just be us. We'd all be on a separate planet if all we needed was ourselves. It's okay to ask for some help. This doesn't have to be so overwhelming. maybe it's just as simple as like, let's say, for example, if you got kids, and you just, your children need your time. Absolutely understand that. But you need your time too. So maybe have like a family member, maybe a friend or whatever. Watch them for a few hours. Just like, hey, let's hang out with Uncle such and such or Aunt so and so, and or blah 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 blah, and take some time and just breathe for a little bit, so that you can get into the Six of Wands energy, getting back in that harmony. That's what the Six of Wands is. Victory. We're out of defeat. We're in victory now. And that's really where this is where Libra should be. This is where everybody should be, but especially this is where I want you, Libra, to where just everything is not so, it's less of that strife, that frustrated, that it gives me, this one's very like frazzled, kind of like type of energy, really tight and constrictive energy. Now we can relax, your shoulders. Wasn't that nice? Even just taking a breath, even just after that, my stress went down 5 points. It's, it really is about finding that harmony, and then so you can be successful in what you do. So that look at how all your problems have leveled up. We've gone from, and it's just all a simple shift, getting out of that, seeing the illusions for what they are, moments of growth. Because now look at what we've done. You've taken that defeat, we've turned it into victory. We've taken that defeat and we turned it into victory. We've taken that worry, we've turned it into success. Lovely. And then, just so that we're balanced, we're taking that strife, we're seeing all this for what it is, because the moon can also represent voluntary change. And I feel like that's another thing that I know that's what I want to ask of you, but this is something that you really have to ask of yourself. Do you want to, because I get it. Sometimes you want to sometimes we got to take the long road. If you want to revel in it, if you feel like you need to be in these situations for a little bit, again, judgment-free zone. But at some point, when you're ready to feel better, the Empress is there to listen whenever you're ready. She's ready to take this journey whenever you are. But it is going to be something, it's got to be a change that you want. End of the day, no one can tell you what to do. Not me, not anyone. Only you can, because then what's the point? If you're doing something for someone, then it doesn't matter. It's you're doing it for them. You're not doing it's going to help them grow. It's going to help them feel good, because it's like, oh, look, my advice worked for them. But it's just like, did it work for you, Libra? So that's, ooh, you got a little heated there, Libra. But it's just because I want you to feel better. And it really is. Like, it's not like I hope it didn't feel like I was coming at you, because that is not the case. I want only great things for you, Libra, especially coming on the last week of your birthday season. Let's see these for what they really are. Moments of mindfulness. Yeah, this is not, we don't gotta stress. Everything is, I know that it's, I promise this is the last time I'm gonna say it on it, then we're gonna move on. I know how that can feel. But you saw how I just pulled that in. You saw, like I said, you pull that future over, handle that, and you're back in control. Let's really take a time to just really be in the present and appreciate that for what it is. And because the nice thing is, you can mold your future however you want, but it happens here. And I promise, more of that positivity that you're feeding in even, okay, because sometimes our thoughts can be a wild cage. Just start even just saying certain things, for every, the challenge has been for a few. For every negative thing that you're thinking, saying whatever, say a positive thing. Think a positive thing. Balance yourself out, Libra. That's what you do best. Get yourself back in harmony so that you can go back out there and do some good, all right? Let's move on to some perspectives, as if you didn't get enough of that already. So, some perspectives to consider in relation to the problem. You got the Eight of Wands here, the Ace of Wands, and the Prince of Wands. Look at all that energy. So this is perfect. So I love this. So with the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is it's very electric energy. Like things are coming in. Usually when I look at this, sometimes I get a feeling of like, you know, you're getting pulled in every different direction when the rainbow's right there. It's like, stop doing all that. Stop going to, and you know what? That can apply here too. Don't let your mind run all over the place. Your rainbow's right there, Libra. You know, don't think too hard about it. But I also feel like with this energy, it's just like things are coming in fast for you. But in the sense of, I feel like things are coming in fast. Once you start focusing on this Empress energy, I feel that things are going to start changing for you in a way that you didn't even expect. Especially with this Ace of Wands being here. The Ace of Wands, any of the aces, you know, they are the root of whatever suit they are. So this is the root of fire. You know, this is that energy. This is planting that seed. You know, this is planting that self-care seed, and then being this guy. You know, kind of. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, the princes can represent people in, they can represent people, so take it as it resonates. You know, maybe if, I feel like I mentioned that, but I'm just mentioning it again just in case. If this doesn't represent you, maybe this could be someone you know who's close in your life who might benefit from some self-care, or someone who can help you, you know, or vice versa. However, you know, take that as it resonates if it's not a person, but, where was I going with that? Oh, take the time to channel that energy I feel like instead of channeling all this really awesome energy into this stuff here, into this, channel it in a way that's going to help you grow. That's not going to keep you down. That's not going to keep your energy stifled. You know, because here's what happens when you channel all that stuff into negative things. Five of Wands happens. You know, then you're like, well, I had all this stuff, but what the hell happened? Well, we didn't want to be, no, we're not blaming. No, we are growing, Libra. And I feel like with this Prince of Wands here, this is the Prince of Wands. I feel like in this instance, you know, he's asking you to be confident, to be, to go in with your head held high, to really, to approach this self-care, routine and just all of this journey, you know, to go at it bold and confident. You know, usually with the wands, the court cards of the wands, they're usually double-edged swords, just because they deal with energy and how you're expending it. But with him, you know, I feel like him and the Queen of Wands, they give me more calmer of the fire energies. You know, even though he's the princes are the airy part of whatever element. So he's the airy part of fire. And how appropriate. You know, the air, it fuels that fire. It gives the fire life. It's breathing. It's feeding this Ace of Wands here. So I feel like this is saying, really figuring out how to channel that energy and being confident in that energy. And like, yes, okay, yeah, no, I'm not, we're not worried anymore. Like, you could be a little worried. It's about finding that balance. But, we're less in this, feeling defeated and whatnot, to feeling more confident. Hold your head up high again, as opposed to, sometimes when you're in a rut, you find yourself looking down quite a bit. Even when this guy's down, he's still trying to keep this stuff calm, keeping his head up high. You could even see these spikes down here. Take it as these 5 moments, the spikes that are trying to bring him down, that's trying to stop his chariot, and he's like full steam ahead. He's got his cape, plume, lion, we're ready to go. So with this energy down here, I feel like it's really saying, when you're going to get ready to embark on this new venture of your life, this new self-care journey that you're getting ready to embark on, plan it with some confidence. Plant this Ace of Wands with confidence, and things are going to turn around in a way, and fast, I feel like, in a way that you didn't even expect, okay? All right. I won't hang up too much there. Oh, how appropriate. I was just talking about you. So, for how your higher self wants you, or what your higher self wants you to know, there's that good old Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, 7 of Swords. Oh, I love this. 7 of Swords and the Aeon. Yes, higher self. See, your higher self and I are on the same page. We want you to get to that Queen of Wands energy where you're calm, authoritative, even in this storms, even in this stuff. Because look at this fire down here. you would think like, girl, you need to move. And she's like, what for? I'm in command of all this. She's I love the Queen of Wands. She's like the I feel like she's the witchiest witch of the queens, and I say that in the sense like she's just really she's all about that. She's about control, authority, calmness, ruling with that, not with an iron thumb, but ruling with that confidence in a way. Because I mean, even her, look at her cheetah. Everything about her, she's just cool as a cucumber. She's the watery part of fire. And you would think with, that's what the queens represent. And it could be a person too, could be a force in your life, but I feel like this is you, Libra. This is where your higher self wants you to graduate to, is this Queen of Wands energy, because you are the boss. And yeah, I feel like that's, learning to be calm in this. Because again, this is not, these things shouldn't be ignored, because if you do, that's how they fester and become something insurmountable. And that might be that might have been what has happened for some of you. But now that this has come to the surface, because cards have brought it out, we're talking about it. This is a reminder, you got this. You totally have this. And the best way you're going to have this is to not burn yourself out. I'm so happy this card popped up. 7 of Swords is my burnout card, because it has futility down here. It is futile if you're running on fumes. Ooh, there's that passion again. Let me bring it back. Let's see. I'm channeling your Queen of Wands energy. You see what you can do with that Queen of Wands? But so look at this. Look at this here. So this main big sword, that's you, Libra. And I get it. You're a good multitasker. You can take a lot on your plate. These swords by themselves, these little ones here, they ain't shit. You eat these up for lunch. But when all of them are coming at you at once, because sometimes, the universe is tricky like that and likes to throw, it never throws, I feel like, more than you can handle at you, but it'll throw you throw you for a loop sometimes if you let it, if you're allowing things to just happen to you, as opposed to gaining control over that, because you do have some control over this stuff, and that's just going to come with time. But yeah, like my whole point with this is, you handle all this stuff at once. Eventually, over time, I don't know if you can tell here, but this sword is starting to chip. But it's such a grand sword. But it's just like you taking that shit all the time, day in and day out. When are you getting a break, Libra? It's your birthday season. Bet you during my birthday season, what am I doing other than being celebrated? I ain't doing shit, because it's time to be in rest. So I really want you to be. This is what I want your birthday gift gift for yourself. Give yourself some good old loving. Just take care of yourself. You deserve it, absolutely. And I feel like your higher self wants you to realize that and take that action, because that's what the Aeon card is. It's usually a card of closure, or definitive action. And I feel like in this sense, this is closing. We're putting a close on this mentality. We're shifting gears. We're not just focusing on the negative aspects of these cards. We're focusing on where the growth is in these cards. That's what we're doing. We're taking action towards this stuff here. We're shattering illusions, and we're starting this new journey to success and love and Queen of Wands. You know what? I had to shift back, because now all of my cards are in one spot. I'm out of cards. This was fun, Libra. I hope this brought your spirits up. Again, I didn't mean to come off. The passion was there. I do. I really want. I want you to feel good, Libra. I want you to want to feel good. I want. And I feel like you want this too, because anyone who says that they like to wallow in this stuff, in misery, that's silly, because at some point it wears you out, and I don't want you to be burnt out, look. I want you to channel this is what I want you to do. I just want you to channel all your energy into this Queen of Wands. I want you to be the queen, and I don't mean that. The nice thing about these cards, too, even if they represent people, this is not a gender-specific reading, so take that. I want you to be the boss, the queen, the prince, whatever helps you get to this Empress, okay? This is what we want. I'm gonna keep her up for a little bit. She loves hanging out. We're becoming like really good friends. So I hope that resonated with some of you. I know I enjoyed that. So yeah, if please like, share, subscribe, take care of yourself. And for a better understanding of this situation, because I know I kind of went in, check your moon, check your rising. I've been telling people, check your Venus. Check your Venus. She wants you to get better. I want you to get better. And I'll keep saying that. And you know what? I forgot who I told this, but I think it was Virgo. But, just because I do these readings for specific weeks, it doesn't mean you can't, like, if you're feeling down at like 2 in the morning and you just need like a pick me up, hit me up at like hit me up, pull up a video, save some of these ones just for like when you need that, like that drive. Ooh, I should start telling people that. Yeah, like just something for yourself, when just because I don't know about you, I used to call my friends at random times of the night. Granted, it might have been we were a different person then. But my whole point with that, bringing that up, is just like, whenever you need something, if your energy's feeling a little low, pull this up, because I will put this Empress in your face all day and tell you to self-care. And, if it's going to make you feel better, that's what I want, Libra. So, yeah, let's get on to the best segment. Well, really your reading is the best segment, but for one of my personal favorite segments, Celestial News Weekly. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's become a game, Libra. Just bear with me. But you know what? Anything to put a smile on your face. Hopefully that made you laugh a little bit. Okay. News. It's kind of a light week this week. Next week's fucking busy, but that's cool. We're taking it. How perfect. We're taking it easy this week, Libra. So on the 17th, how beautiful. We're on the last quarter moon, and this is a time it represents transitions, things coming to completion, and letting go. Oh wow, now everything's buried. Hold on, we're letting go. We gotta, and it's not gonna happen overnight. But if we can just like let one thing go at a time, oh, this is perfect. As I'll move down, for this last moon. Let's try to go for some of this. It's also a time for like taking responsibility for your mistakes, and hold on, I want to get an equal amount because we're all about balance, Libra. For your mistakes and for your accomplishments. So, do that. Do that is what I'm getting at. I'm a small mess. Next, we have, for those of you, I'm throwing some new stuff in here too. I know I went retrograde crazy last week, so I won't do that to you this week. But we do have one I found in particular that was really cool. Chiron is in retrograde, and it's been in retrograde since July. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Chiron, and for you history buffs, was discovered in 1977. And it was originally classified as an asteroid and then later reclassified as a minor planet. And its orbit is in between Saturn and Uranus, and all it represents is trauma. In whatever sense that looks like. I feel like trauma, however big or small. And with it being in retrograde, it's like this is like a good time for catharsis. I don't know if I said it. It's we're in this retrograde until the 23rd of December. But yeah, this is a good time, just a really cathartic time, really good time for internal healing, dealing with all this stuff, Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight, but if we can just deal with one, look how much, don't you feel a little bit lighter now? Like, okay, all right. So now you just got these two things. And then, I got my last quarter moon. Bye-bye. And now I just have the one thing. Now it's just like getting my energy back. I won't bombard you with cards. I've just been throwing cards at you, but you get the gist. You know what I'm about to do. I don't want to keep throwing cards at you, but I'll do it no matter as long as it takes. Got you, Libra. Okay. Oh, one little I just found this little fact kind of fascinating. So just one random thing. Usually Chiron stays in each sign on an average of 4 years. But for some reason, which I am going to look up, it stays in Aries and in Pisces for like 7 to 8 years. It's crazy. And for some reason, for Virgo and for you, it only stays in your signs for up to 1 to 2 years. So it could imply maybe you don't need as much healing as, because you're balancing people out, but that's just conjecture. I will confirm that. Lastly, I'm gonna start getting into aspects, and aspects are just how the planets are, what the planets are doing up in there, how their energies, when certain ones are lined up with either lined up just in general, or maybe how they're aligned with whatever your natal chart is, like your birth chart. Those effects, where the planets are, those energies affect you in different way depending on how they're related to one another. Ooh, excuse me. So, for example, you have the sun is trine in Mars, or sun is trine with Mars. And to be trine with something is to be within 120 degrees. Imagine this 120 degrees. And this energy ends on the 26th of this month. But it's about this impetus to kind of push forward with projects. Just that drive, like, where to go. This is what happens when you bury things. Self-care. You know what? You might be feeling a drive towards self-care. Self-care. That's where I want your drive to be this week. Is to, while we're still in this energy, keep you can focus on your responsibility, not to neglect your responsibilities. I totally get it. Let's just sneak some self-care in, just little bits where we can, until it becomes a routine to where it's like a regular thing, Lastly, Venus is squared with Pluto. And when something is square, it's just within 90 degrees. Imagine this is 90 degrees. That energy ends on the 25th of this month. And this is more so about being aware of any sort of dissonance or discord in relationships and being able to deal with those effectively. So, for example, what I've been telling the other signs is, let's say your partner, friend, whomever, if you have any of those things, coming home and it's like, whatever, people in your sphere. Let's say you have something where you got this one friend, he doesn't use a coaster, throws his cards everywhere, and you just want to address those things. It's just like, a soft way, instead of like, why don't you, coming across naggy. Because I say that just because I know I can nag sometimes, if I allow it, or if I allow myself to. But another good way to do it is like, hey, such and such, have I offended you at all this week? I was just thinking, just randomly, I'm just like, is there any way that I've made you feel any kind of way, or something that, maybe that you've been wanting to speak with me about? Just allowing that space, and making it a safe space. We're not trying to trap anybody. We're trying to set up a safe space so that the person, hopefully the person will be like, oh, maybe share something if there is something that's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Have I done anything to you? And then reciprocity happens. And that's beautiful in itself. So that's what we want, Libra. I want such good things. Last week, make it count, Libra. Make it count. Let's pull I think I've kept you just about long enough. So let me go ahead and pull this surprise card here. And perfect. 10 of Swords. And I know, again, it might seem like a negative card, I know, with this ruin on here. But this 10 of Swords, this to me represents the end of faulty reasoning. This is what am I trying to say here? When it's talking about, I feel like when it says ruin here, 5 of disc kind of energy, all those 5s, I really threw them out. I threw them all over the place. But all those 5s, when we're just focusing on them in a negative aspect, that's going to lead you to ruin. But this is heralding the end of that faulty reasoning, just those negative things that we're telling ourselves. You know, this is really just like this is like the sign of like, hey, enough is enough. You know, like, do you really want to keep feeling like this? I think it's time for you to feel good. I think it's really, let's go. Hey, let's go. You know, I heard the sun is trining Mars. Let's go on this journey and let's get back to let's get right side up and how perfect. Let's get right side up, Libra. We're done acting like hanged man here. All right. I hope that resonated with you. Enjoy the rest of your birthday week. I'm so happy for you. Just happy birthday. What else am I trying to say? I just want to keep you a little bit longer, Libra. What else am I trying to say? That's it. Get out of here. Go enjoy the rest of your week. Later. Keep raising the vibration. That's what I wanted to say. Keep raising the vibration, because that's totally my catchphrase. See ya.